Yeah, Lakers right now, as hard as they've tried, they've had so many nagging injuries. They're a two-man team, and we're only third of the way into the season. And if LeBron doesn't do it and AD doesn't do it, the Lakers don't win. And those guys supposedly were on a minutes limit. Well, that went out the door the second week of the season. Here's LeBron's playing 38 minutes a game,
Jeez.
and AD is playing possessed. But they still are just really deficient in terms of depth because a whole bunch of guys they brought in we thought were going to be difference makers coming off the bench have all been nicked and hurt. And some of them haven't even really gotten on the court. Rumor is out there that the Lakers are trying to make a trade to get Chicago guard Zach LaVine.
Oh.
And he's a three-point shooter, and he'd be a pretty good addition. They'd have to pay, I think, a bit of a steep price to make that happen. I'll say this about the Clippers. We had huge questions. You know, could you use more than one basketball on the floor at one time? Could you make all these guys play together? Well, they jury-rigged the starting lineup a week into the season after that lousy start, and they are really hitting on all cylinders right now. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, what James Harden has done, and Russell Westbrook decided he would go to the bench and be first guy off the bench. Now, he's not as explosive right now as he was last season when he got there, but the Clippers are starting to play well. I think they've won 9 of their last 12. I've seen bad basketball, some really bad teams. I don't think I've ever seen anything like we're seeing in Detroit. The Pistons, 21 losses in a row. They were 2-1 to come out of the gate. Cade Cunningham and all these Jalen Duren, all these high draft picks. They were 2-1. They've lost 21 games in a row. Now, I've watched 2 of their games on TV, and there is no energy. There is no commitment to defense. There is no toughness. It's like it's three-point shooting spree, and they're getting killed at the other end when they don't make their baskets. They're just terrible. And it's been tough in San Antonio, and I thought it would have been better, although they're playing really hard, because Greg Popovich wouldn't allow them to loaf. Victor Wembanyama, he's quite a player. His game against the Lakers the other night, he hit 2 3-point shots at the end of the game that put San Antonio back in it, almost won it for him. He's not intimidated by the size, by the brute strength of all these veteran players. He's playing well. They just don't have a lot of firepower around him, but at least there they play hard. And the other story is this whole Draymond Green situation. Now he's been suspended indefinitely by the NBA for this flagrant forearm into the face of a Phoenix Suns player. His 3rd ejection of the season. Now he's been suspended indefinitely, and the league and the union are meeting with Golden State's management to talk about sending him to counseling for some type of anger management counseling. He's so out of control. You know, and Golden State's, they're not playing well at all. I think they're 5-12 in the last couple of weeks. They got roster problems everywhere, and now they got this social discipline issue with Draymond Green. And they might be at the end of the road because Klay Thompson can walk as a free agent. He's unhappy with the contract offer they made. They asked him to take a pay cut. Draymond Green doesn't hurt anybody with these flagrant fouls, but he hurts the team because he keeps getting suspended. And their young draft picks that they've thought were going to pan out have yet to pan out. So it's kind of like Steph Curry against the world right now, and they're not playing very well. So, John, there's a lot of basketball stuff there. Don't shoot any air balls. Give me some opinions.
Well, I watched the Lakers Spurs game last night, and you're right. Wembanyama the dude was dishing and getting these assists, and I'm like, wow, this guy's the real deal. But I remember watching that game, and boy, that kid McDermott, from Creighton, he was just getting pummeled and banged around and just had a hell of a game. Nothing was working for him. And then I'm watching Austin Reeves. He had a really nice game. And I looked at him and I kept thinking, he looks like somebody. And I went, oh, he looks like Cameron, Ferris Bueller's best friend from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I go, that's it. Going back to Draymond, I'm a longtime Warrior fan. I used to go to the games when they had Rick Barry back in the Oakland Coliseum, Al Attles, all that. But his act's tired, man. I mean, it's just gotten to a point, anger management counseling is not going to solve the problem. I kind of wonder if maybe they should implement a policy that if you injure a guy and put him on the disabled list for, let's just say 15 days or whatever it is, that you get suspended for that same amount of time with no pay.
Well, the discipline based on suspensions escalates for the second incident, the third incident.
It should, yeah.
So, but the Golden State's in a tough corner. Are they tired of the act? Yeah. He's hurting the team.
Yeah.
But if you blow him out, somebody else might pick him up in the division. And how do you help yourself if you blow him out, unless you're willing to give up the whole season and say, okay, we're into total rebuild?
Well, I mean, if he's not playing, if he's suspended, then what's the point of having him in the first place?
Okay. So we go from hoops